Record. Okay, so let me start over again. Go up here, new, just pick any theme. Then I get rid of this stuff here. And then I go over here. You want to make sure the format is open up here. If you're trying to find these tools, open the format. And I change the color here. And this gives a really nice neutral background that doesn't impose on your blacks and it doesn't impose on your whites. And then I would just copy this and do that. Now, this is a cool thing here. Um, let me, oh, I might have taken all these out. No, here we go. Okay, so from Lightroom, I export these images as JPEGs and the size that will fit into um, the window here.
Oh,
So I'm going to get rid of this. So this is so cool. I just pick these up, take them over here,
oh,
and they
oh,
come in their own window.
oh,
Whoa.
that's
Isn't that cool?
okay.
Wow, that's so much better than PowerPoint.
Then I go like that, and I go like that. Not that. I go like that, and then that whole shoot, my selections are all imported.
Mhm.
And if I want to compare like two images, I would, I can easily do that here. You know,
Hmm.
and really play around with it, make lots of notes, um, make notes here. If I want to um, point out something, I
Ah,
would take a little arrow here and I would
Hmm.
oh,
here.
that's nice.
It gets lost in the colors, so I give the color, uh, I would make it like red. And so then you have a way to point out, if you're talking about something, you can point directly to it, which is
And
good.
where'd you get that arrow from?
Do you see up here shape?
Yep. Ah,
This is
okay.
also where I get my stars,
Stars. Okay.
but I like my stars red, so.
Where? Where are you?
But sometimes I like them gold.
I was going to say, what about a gold star?
Well, gold, you can't give gold right away. Gold comes with time, you know? So I have gold reserved for really special ones. So there are only like 15 golds in a whole year. Um, but it's a wonderful thing. You could make notes saying here, um, darken this area a little bit. Well, you don't want to read my typing, but you get the idea that you
Yeah.
can make very specific notes here. And then you can also start making notes on some of the ways that it makes you feel, that you know, this
Mhm.
has a dripping quality that I find, let's see here, playing window. So 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 I could start talking about some of the things that this evokes for me here. You
Mhm.
know what this is right down here?
A horseshoe crab?
No,
Shell.
it's me.
What?
It's a self-portrait.
To you? Where are you in there?
Well, I turned it.
Oh,
So, so let's see.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? So you can turn the images here too. Wait a minute. It's very hard to turn them.
a lot more than I
Yeah.
figured out.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this is me. That's my hair reflected there. I'm often in these pictures. And so what I do is I do it by the shoot. I would say this is the shoot of, 11/5, 11/5/25. And I could give a location. I could mark down some special lighting that I did. And then, so that would be, all of that is contained within.
Okay. So that would be an actual slide. Mm-hmm.
This would be a slide of the month. This I just make the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
I was
next
trying to
one,
figure out a folder somewhere to put them in, but you're making your own slide. Okay.
yeah, and then I would do here, I would indent this a little bit and I would make this the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then this would be the shoot. And I put that under the month.
Mm-hmm.
So if I,
And how do you put that under the months?
um, a tab, you could do it a couple ways,
Tab, okay.
or you can just, move it.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you can just move it.
Wow.
Mm.
So and there's so many, I mean, you can just go crazy with this. As I've
Okay.
been doing some of my slideshows for classes, I do all kinds of fun and crazy things. As Diane knows, I have things banging down and the dust settling and um, let me just do one real quick. I know I'm at an effect anvil. See?
Oh, start build in. Oh my God, that's great.
Isn't that cool? Let me do it again.
All right.
So, any other questions? I think such a wonderful way to keep it organized for your mind.
Mm.
You know, you go through Lightroom and you do 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, and then the 5 stars or the ones that you work on in Photoshop, you just put over here. And to update this with a shoot takes me about 10 minutes
Hmm.
That's a
from
nice.
the exporting to having it finished.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work with that some more. I was dabbling, but I was kind of fumbling too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Diane, you are up.
Okay.
So remind us what we talked about last time and what you are working with here.
Um, well, before I was working with mirrors, and so I would have the original face. Is that what you're talking about, Connie?
Yeah, yeah. Your sort of process in making this next step.
Um, so I had the face and then the mirror, and then the altered face in the mirror. But I was getting kind of bored with it, um, and not having a good idea of where to go. So Connie suggested maybe some of the faces hold their own without the original and without the sense of a mirror and an internal self and an external self. Anyway, so I went back and found some that I thought worked on their own. Um, and they're much more expressive than I felt like in the mirror. This exact same image, although I had to usually rework the whole image because I had things altered because I had moved over the original face and the mirror, and so I had all kinds of things masked out. Um, and sometimes I brought in the original image to make it somewhat larger or add components of the face that I had lost. Anyway, so these are all from mirrored images that I just took the faces off. She's my favorite.
It's mine too.
Tell us why.
I feel like she has this amazing, this very strange, but I don't know, there's something about the thickness of her lips and the expressiveness of her lips. And her eyes feel very expressive to me. Um, I like the light that's coming on one side of her face. But I think the expression on her face just is, I don't know. It just appeals to me.
And the fake eyebrows.
Oh, the fake eyebrows. Yeah.
I mean, that kind of fits with the lips,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
pursed lips. Yeah, I think
One
these
thing,
are
when I move around the eyebrows, it's very hard to keep them looking
like
natural.
eyebrows.
Um,
You could just draw a line on them and draw your own eyebrows.
yeah. If I could draw.
There is
Yeah.
an eyelash or a brow brush too in Photoshop. If you use it enough, it's probably worth you finding.
Yeah.
Really? An eyebrow brush?
It makes little hairs instead of a straight line.
Oh, that's very fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have brushes to add.
Uh-huh.
So if they already had hair, I know how to add hair, but I don't know how to start it out. But anyway, I don't know. There's just something about her that feels very real to me.
I think this one is really
Mm-hmm.
remarkable.
So I really like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She the mouth is a little too large, but it's pouting. It's a pouting
Yeah.
mouth. And the eyes are suspicious looking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you bring the eyes in layers?
Um, yeah, I take the eyes and I make a layer for each eye, and then I use warp mainly. So I
Yeah.
transform the eyes. But so each eye's on a separate layer and the mouth is on a separate layer.
Because I'm still seeing a little bit of this here, which is part of the cutout of the eye. And if you just take the erase on just that layer, it will
Yeah.
erase just that so that it will blend a little bit better and you won't have these lines here.
Ah, okay.
But I think you're doing a really good job of bringing in expressions and um, the eyes are so hard. There's, a real glare to the eyes. So this is where it gets a little interesting, like we were talking about with Suzanne and her work with AI, that it starts to get into an unreal feeling, like a cartoon kind of feeling,
Yeah.
like an anime. And
Yeah.
so there's a line there, and that's something that I think you have to decide where you're willing to go with that. Um, I think, it's very interesting with AI, what's happening. But I think the younger generations, one thing I think that they did was they wanted to bring their toys into adulthood. So instead of comics, it's now graphic novels. It's a comic. It's a comic, but it's
Yeah.
graphic novels. And
Yeah.
then when I look at some of the video games, they're these little made up little figures that don't have anything to do with real figures. They look like, you know,
You
little
know,
plastic figures.
yeah.
And the toys that we played with were realistic, you know,
Yeah.
with little clothes and this and that. But these are, I mean, what is it? The Lego, the Lego creatures. I mean, they're just like a little round ball on a square. It's amazing to me how immature the toys look to me, and I'm turned off by that. I and I think our generation wants to see things more realistic,
Hmm.
but I think the younger generation has much more tolerance for. The other thing about the younger generation that I found is this whole me first
Mm.
idea, me and so and so. and it's gotten into it, it's like me first, iPhone, you know, my bad. It's so reflected in the language that it's me centered.
Like the
Uh,
United States centered.
Yes, yes, chauvinistic,
Yeah.
chauvinistic.
very.
They
Yeah,
don't have any experience any discomfort.
Yep.
That's what I'm understanding of
You're
the.
saying she looks too AI-ish.
she looks cartoonish
Yeah, yeah.
to me.
I think part of it is that the catchlight is not in an even, I don't know, somehow the catchlight to me throws me off because the left eye should be a little higher on the catchlight.
Well,
Yeah,
the eyes aren't focused in the same way.
Yeah.
right.
They're not coordinated, kind of like
But
my eyes,
but I think that's part of the expression
right?
of her. I think some of it is the skin. So I mean, this will be very obvious here, but comparing, the reality of this skin versus this skin, which has no texture and really no, you know, it's very not a lot of um, dimension to the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Haven't we seen this woman before? Wasn't she part of a reflection, Diane?
Yeah, they were all, yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
that's fine.
yeah.
I think it would help to remove the lines here.
Tracks, yeah, okay.
And if you want to use lines, I would like make a scar, make one or two lines and have it be like a scar. And I
Yeah,
think that could be very interesting.
yeah. I was thinking that this trying to make things look like cracks doesn't really work very well.
Yeah, I could see these as scars.
Yeah,
Do you
but
guys
not as
feel that way?
many.
Yeah, it could be interesting. So the point is there's
Well, the other thing that makes this look like a cutout is her hair is dark and the background's dark. And I suspect if I lightened her hair
Mm.
so it didn't just blend into the background, and then maybe change the background so it's not so intense.
I
But
don't
I
think
think that's one of the reasons is she's just surrounded in black.
I
Dark,
don't think
everything's
that
even.
I don't think that would change the effect of it being a cartoon. I
Ah,
think it's mainly in the face and the way
Right.
the face is rendered.
okay.
The
And there's no texture in the face other than the
right,
scars. It looks plastic. It
right.
looks like a mannequin.
It looks
Yeah.
like a mannequin. That's right. That's right. It looks like a doll.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, this is, I think, very cool. Um, but this again is you're kind of playing with that border between real and
Mhm.
um, anime or AI. What should we call it? Border between real and unreal?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, with what's going on up here and the eyebrows here. But then we have texture here, which keeps it in reality, and the teeth are very real. So we're playing it back and forth here, um, between real and created. How's that? Real and created.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's something I would pay a lot of attention to. Um, and not necessarily making a decision one way or the other. And Suzanne, maybe you could talk to this a little bit because, we did talk about this with your AI
Right,
project.
right. Um, I think it depends on what your attention is. Like when I was playing with AI, I was playing and I knew they didn't look real, and I was playing with montage and AI and that. But then when I stopped doing that and I started going back to real, I find it Not very, I just can't blend the two methods. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
methods for me. Um,
Well,
What what
I wasn't trying to make it what I was trying to do is give her what's scowl? What's the word?
yeah,
Scowl.
right.
Um, and so I tried liquefy, which I am not good at. I don't
oh,
really understand all the buttons, and there's parts of liquefy and
right,
I've never really taken, a YouTube on. And so I think one of the reason that looks false, um,
yeah.
is because I don't know how to do liquefy, but I was trying to get some sort of,
Uh-huh, the
you
scowl.
know, tightness around her eyes, but so that's as good as, you know, but it should be much more subtle if I knew how to use liquefy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what liquefy and blend and healing, what they do is they take pixels,
Uh-huh.
nearby pixels, and they sort of put them together. So
Uh,
when they smear, it's not going to smear like, um, oh wait, I thought that would blow us up. Uh, it's not going to smear um like individual grain here, individual pixels that we see. It's going to
yeah,
smoosh them all together. So that's how we get this effect.
yeah,
And I think it has to be used. I don't know that much about it, but I think it has to be used really subtly
yeah,
Yeah.
and sort of working with with the natural tones that are there.
yeah,
Yeah.
And um and the eyebrows here, again, in the darkness around here, that's also taking it into this more created versus
yeah,
real place.
Uh-huh.
But what I think is working really well is the way the mouth is integrated into her face.
Mm.
I think that's working really well. And you're creating um such an interesting uh, expression with that mouth. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but we did. So here, let's go here. So here we've really got the texture and the mouth looks good. You could erase a little bit more of where you brought the mouth in, just a
okay.
little bit on that layer there. Um, but the eyebrows look good. The eyes look good. The hair looks weird. Hair looks like a wig that
Yeah,
like that's like placed too far forward, which is not a criticism of the photograph. It's just a weirdness of the photograph. And the sort of squareness of the jaw is very masculine.
huh.
So there's an unsettling quality about this that I think is interesting.
Hmm.
Again, I don't think these lines are doing anything for you, but distracting.
Okay.
Um, but I like the texture of the skin. I mean, the imperfections in the skin. And I like the way that you're kind of skewing the eyeballs. Uh, just subtle things make such a difference. Wow.
Mm-mm.
She is really pouty.
Not looking at me.
I think these are very, very clever and fun.
Too.
D- Do you did you have a good time doing this, Diane?
Um, well, yeah, it was curious to take off the mirror and try to see the whole of the face as distorted. Um, yeah, yeah.
And to create different expressions?
Well, the expressions were already there.
I don't
They
know.
were in the mirrored image. So the expressions aren't changed. The cracks, the lines they're much more subtle than they were. I took them way, way down.
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, but mostly the expression was already done when it was the mirrored image.
Well, I would like to see the original of one of these versus ones at before and after, before you've started doing anything to it, and then after.
See, you could do that with the mirrored image because the original was on the other side of the image.
But can't you flip it?
What do you mean?
Just flip the image and you would have the. Oh, I see what you're saying. You could compare the two then.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm saying not in one photograph.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I don't remember the expressions being this intense in the mirrors.
Mhm.
Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this to me has gone all the way over into um created.
Yeah.
The lips, they
The
look
little lines.
they're flat,
Yeah.
the eyebrows. Now I think this has potential. I think the hair is very cool. The cracks are not working at all here.
Right.
And so we go back to what's happened here. Let's look at these two together. Oops, this one and this. Oops, that's me hitting the wrong button. These two together, and it has the same idea. There's no texture on the skin, and there's really no real volume to the face. Um, and that's what's taking them out of this realm of reality.
Okay.
Whereas
He
with,
is actually off of, and I wasn't thinking about how that would make her look so flat, but she is off of a record album.
Huh.
And then I modified her face.
Uh-huh.
So you didn't take all of these
No,
from.
I took all of them except her. The
Uh-huh.
rest are all bottles that I've taken at different
Right,
workshops at different times.
right.
So I actually need new faces, but so I'll have to go on another workshop with models, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, she's the only one. I just was trying.
Mhm.
what, why don't you, every time somebody comes into your house or you go to somebody else's house or you go to the
Yeah.
grocery store, take your camera and say, "Do you mind if I take a picture of you? I think you look so interesting," or something
Yeah,
like that.
right.
I wonder if you couldn't hire some of the UCSB students in the art department to model.
Oh, I
No,
bet
sure.
you could.
Yeah. If I ever worked with models, I've never worked with models. I think that's one reason I started with dolls and mannequins,
Yeah.
is I didn't have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
arrange anything. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I didn't have to schedule anything. It was
Easy.
easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, yeah. Easier in terms of just setting it up.
So this one we have texture, but it's not flesh texture. It looks
Really.
like canvas texture.
Oh,
And
well,
so that takes
maybe
us,
she's off of a record too. I don't
yeah,
remember where I got her.
Mm.
yeah, you see the,
Interesting.
Yeah. And
yeah.
when you put it through these denoise things, um, if you really denoise something, then it looks really flat. So, um,
I would be careful denoising things.
yeah. Anyway, okay, I won't
Why,
use.
why would you denoise something?
Oh, because it'd be too much of a pattern from, like in this case, you could see the record
You see,
pattern.
yeah,
If I denoised her, if I smoothed out her skin, you wouldn't see it, but then her skin would look totally,
but then you would have this kind of effect.
yeah, it would be too smooth.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, I won't use, I have all these wonderful pictures of record album people.
Yeah. Diane, I just wanted to mention to you, if I could for a minute, that what you're doing reminds me of an artist, and his name is Louis Rossignol, and he's a drawer. But I remember seeing him explain his process, and he calls it Frankensteining. And it's
I like
wonderful.
that.
And he takes, eyes from this person and a mouth from that person, and makes wonderful characters.
Ah,
Caricature a little bit, but if you just see his process, you could probably apply it to the photography. And I agree, just use people that you know. Maybe you like the mouth of this person and you put it with the eyes of that, or somebody laughs. And, I mean, I think it's fun to think about doing what you're doing and just,
ah.
yeah.
How do you spell his last name?
Oh, it's a little hard to spell, but it's Rossignol.
Okay.
And he is a drawer, but that's what he does. He makes people out of a process that he calls Frankenstein. He's even taken like Brad Pitt's eyes and use but I love the idea of what you're doing here. I think it has a lot of potential and it can be a lot of fun. I would give up on the mirrors and just do people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. And I think, as you were talking, Suzanne, I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to take like the eyes of somebody who's really glaring at you
Yeah.
with somebody who has a slight smile? And, how do they affect each other? I
Yeah.
think it'd be really fun to play around with that.
Juxtapose it. Yeah.
Juxtapose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Well, I love this direction.
Friends to take
Okay.
healthy and send them to you on the phone and see what you like about the face. And they probably won't care because you're not going to use the whole face. Maybe it'll just be their smile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Okay, Suzanne, talk to us here.
Um,
This
well,
doesn't look like Suzanne.
it does not. No,
Well, these don't.
yeah, no. These is actually just it's not a real submission, but it's more like a analogy of a photo shoot. But if we start at the beginning in the black and white, I was doing the black and white diptychs.
Right.
Seen
Oh,
it?
nice.
Yeah, this was an infrared shot. It's actually two shots. Um,
Hmm.
Black and white.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know what to say. That was a continuation of the experiments that I was doing with that.
That works. It flows well.
It does. It flows well. It looks like it shouldn't flow well, but it does, which is
Mhm.
really
Really
interesting.
like it. I love the line of her foot coming up and the fingers pointing at the lion.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well, I
just
think in part because the cement squares are well, obviously you put her into the picture, but that gives a cohesiveness to it by having the cement ground them and be
Yeah.
symmetrical.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also the implication of this form continuing here.
Yeah.
All of those things make such a big deal. When I first looked at this and I saw this line separating, which I think is a really cool line, and I thought, what would it look like with that all around? And I don't know why I thought that, but as I've been going through looking at this, I keep wanting some kind of outline on
You're gonna
this image. And I don't know why, but
see one structure, which is the line, and maybe it feels like it needs it all the way around. I hadn't thought about doing that, but it would be easy enough to do.
yeah, it might be worth trying just to see, because it keeps coming back in my head for some reason. I think
You
this
want
is
a line
very
around the
cool.
whole image?
Yeah, either a black line or I don't know why, or more of this structure.
right, matching the color,
Mm.
which blends so well with the image. It's very subtle.
Yeah, yes.
Thin line, that color.
Mm-hmm. Now, I
Hmm.
think that would be really good. It would integrate the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps. Okay. Yeah, I think there's so many things about it. The mane of the lion and her hair. These are things that you don't notice at first, they're kind of subliminal, but all of these, the subliminal things, what Catherine was pointing out with the hand and the legs and um, the blocks, the cement blocks, all of these little things that are creating cohesion, visual cohesion between the images that don't necessarily make logical sense, but pull it together visually, um, are what's making this have a strength to it, even though these are two very different images. They make sense to do it.
Hmm. That's interesting.
At a diptych. Um, so I find it interesting, and in fact, I struggle with diptychs to an extent because what should the images be? It should be like two pictures of this girl, and so I look for things, and in this case, it was the shoulder of the girl and the shoulder of the owl, uh, the wing of the owl, that led me to think, well, maybe they belong together. But anyway, it's an interesting process, and sometimes I think I don't know the magic behind what makes one work, and you know what I mean?
I think you do know what the magic of what makes one thing work.
Well,
It's to have these subtle connections.
actions, yeah,
That's what creates the magic.
right. That's what I,
And when you talk about the shoulder relationship here, I completely see that.
yeah,
I completely see that. This gets in the way for me.
really, because I almost took her out, and then I stuck it back in there at the last minute. I don't know why.
Why did you stick it back in?
It's actually a triptych. Because the original image was her and herself. And so when I went to make it a diptych, which is two photographs, they were two complete photographs. And then I did cut the girl out, and I tried putting the two together, and I like that as well. So I don't know. I don't know why I put her back in.
So for me, the relationship between the shoulder and here,
Yeah,
these shapes, this
yeah,
shape here, even the texture, the relationship is between this and this. And I have to kind of skip over this because it blocks that relationship. So you have a relationship between two very different things, two
right.
very different subjects, but you found that relationship,
Yeah,
which is, that's a metaphor right there. That's the basis of a metaphor, is finding the commonality between two disparate things. And the metaphor is the basis of poetry. So that's what gives the magic, you know, the poetic relationship. And and so when I'm looking here,
yeah,
I don't see any visual connection between her and the other two images.
I agree with you. And I should have, yeah, I did them both. I did it both ways.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I think sometimes you think,
Too much.
yeah, when you started talking about the original photograph, I thought, that's the idea. That's the idea. We're not relating to what's actually here. I think that's one of the hardest things we we have to do as artists, as photographers, is separate ourselves from the images that we just made
Yeah.
to really look at what they are.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do, but it's critical. It's absolutely critical.
Well, I can see me redoing this one.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you
so.
did you place these two girls in a background?
No, no, they were shot there. It was
So then how did you get rid of that must have been just really hard to get rid of the middle girl.
to get rid of the middle girl.
Yeah.
I just cropped it from the right.
Oh, you cropped it. Oh, I was thinking you took her out.
No, no, I just cropped her out.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
Which would make sense because this is coming so close to the edge here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so that would come very close to and it would reiterate those
Yeah.
forms.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, I had trouble identifying this as an owl.
Oh, did you really?
I
Me
Oh,
too.
huh. What did you think it was, maybe?
The
Undo.
spots here looked a little reptilian to me, but I saw like hair or fur here.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't really know what to make of it. Did anybody recognize it as an owl?
Yeah.
I thought it was a weird plant.
Yep. No, I knew
Yeah.
it was an owl because of the shape of the eye. And we have owls here I see them all the time.
I blurred
Uh,
that eye
That's an
a little
eye.
bit.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I blurred his eye a little bit because I thought that the girl was a little soft. And the owl originally was not very soft at all. So maybe if I brought it a little sharper, it would look more like an owl.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. This doesn't look like an eye at all to me.
No.
Oh,
Mm.
Mm-mm.
okay. I'll sharpen that up and see if it doesn't work a little better.
Yeah. This is interesting.
To play with color
Hmm.
because I actually like color better than black and white. But so this was an experiment with that. Uh, two photographs um, that I struggled to get two that would complement each other and work with the color as well.
So can you analyze, Suzanne, why these images work together?
Well, I think the fact that they both look like they're fluid. One was shot on Mylar, and the other, I think I did that on a really rainy night in Rehoboth Beach. But anyway, it's the liquid
Hmm.
quality that they both have. And then actually their lighting went together pretty
Hmm.
well.
It
Uh,
does.
yeah, and the color. Um, so that's why I thought that they worked. I like the fact that the photo of the girl is I liked the right side of that photograph. Because that's the mylar kind of melting.
Right. But it
Yeah.
has such a fluid quality to it.
And
Yeah.
that kind of gave a natural distinction between the two
Mhm.
photos. Anyway,
Yeah, so I see, and that was really good because all of those things you were pointing out were the visual connections,
mhm.
and that's really how we want to make. And one thing to think about is the more we can connect two disparate things, the stronger the metaphor will be.
Okay.
So,
Things, yeah.
like these two, I mean, this is a perfect example of really opposite things relating. That's sort of so I see what you're saying about this sort of fluidity of it, but I'm not sure that that necessarily enhances it. It might reiterate it
Okay.
be, because it's such a strong statement over both images that
Yeah.
it sort of makes them more alike than they are different.
Okay. They don't complement each other so much as just being alike.
How
Being
did you
like,
get the blur on the right side?
Okay, where are we talking about? Which picture? Oh, on the
On the picture on the right. I mean, it almost looked like you shot through Vaseline.
I shot through a car window, rainy car window. And
Okay.
they're driving me around. I
and what's this?
think that's Louis Pizza or something.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
That's
Oh,
that's
do you
that.
need that red spot? Because I find myself just constantly going to it.
Okay. Yeah, that was obviously the Louis Pizza Light or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you're
Without
right.
that red, then I go from her hair over to
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever.
or desaturate it.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it needs it.
But another thing for me is I like this image a lot. I like the fluidity. I like the,
Mhm.
roundness of what's the distortions here. And I don't think this image is nearly as strong.
Okay.
So I'd like to see this image, um, find a pair for that image.
Okay.
And, things to look at. It might just have something like this sort of fold over, or hands, or the hair, the color. Well, you know you do all of that stuff.
No, but I understand what you're saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I understand what you're saying.
The further apart they are with
Uh-huh.
some connection, the stronger it's going to be.
Okay,
And it's like a verbal metaphor.
right.
You know,
You said the further apart they are, and
but
what was
some
next?
the
But some
further,
connection. Okay.
the further apart they are, let's go back to this. The further apart they are as subjects, as reality, as what they are, but still connected on that subliminal visual level,
Got it.
the stronger the metaphor is going to be.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think this is just too similar.
Mhm. Mhm. I gotcha. Because I was working with
But
and actually trying to find something that it was a well, you'll see it. I'll explain that in a minute.
okay.
Let's
Okay.
just keep going. And I'll come back to that thought.
Okay. So
Okay.
do you want me to go straight into
I
these?
want you to get to the two bottom
The
ones.
two bottom. Okay.
First, yeah, this one here. Again, two separate photographs. I was going through my files and I liked both of these and I thought, well, would they work uh together? I actually like this one, even though they are very similar,
I love it.
because it looks like they're looking at each other.
What I like is the relationship between this and this.
Oh,
And then of course the tonality of the bodies here. Yeah, makes it work, but it's very bizarre. You know, it looks like she's being pushed over by this,
yeah.
like she's leaning over. And there's all kinds of weird stuff going on in here. Might want to bring a little bit of that out.
I was wondering about that. Yeah.
I can't quite make it out, and I want to have a little bit more sense of space there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this is fabulous.
Thank
It's
you.
very strange.
And especially that you didn't separate the images as much. They're not as obviously two separate images.
No, it's not
Right.
real obvious. You're right, but they are. They're two separate images.
I don't read it that way. I read
No.
it as one.
Which is okay, you
Yeah,
know.
that is okay. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What
I
did you
think it's
say?
probably
Oops, sorry.
stronger as two separate images. I mean,
Mhm.
as one image than two. Sorry. Yeah.
Right.
What did you say she should do with the part beyond on the
Just
left side?
Lighten it a little bit.
lighten it up a little bit. I think there are interesting things back here, but I can't
Okay.
quite make them out.
Those
And I
are
think it would be interesting to have a sense of space back there. And I recognize that long neck from a previous photograph.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I finally had a chance. I've been talking to Brooke and Catherine anyway about wanting to shoot people again.
Hmm.
Uh, I've been wanting to shoot this gentleman for a long time. He's a neighbor of mine, lives around the corner. And he walks around the neighborhood in that coat. He's 6'5", huge man. And finally, and he and his partner helps me around the house a little bit. So I finally said, I finally approached him and I said, I want to start shooting people. Can you come down to the garage? Anyway, he came down.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And I was thrilled to have him. And he's 78. And when he got down on the floor like that, I was like, oh my gosh, 6'5", 78, I'll never get him up. Call my insurance company. But I thought it went really well. I did something that I wouldn't necessarily do with this, which is to duplicate him, on the second photograph.
Right. It's a different photograph, though.
Oh yeah, it's a different photograph.
Yeah.
So,
So let's go through.
there's that other guy now is a separate story. But
Oh, okay. So keep going here.
I have this guy.
I'm not sure the two images. I don't know how I feel about it. I think the one on the left is really compelling,
Yeah, that was my feeling.
and the one on the right still
Static.
it's static. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But the one on the right is really, really compelling.
Uh-huh.
So I would get rid of the one on the right and use the one on the left.
Lose the one on the left.
Lose the one on the right.
Oh, lose the one on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the static one.
Yeah.
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 The position of his arms, the look, the little bit of moisture under his eye makes him look like a fighter,
Yeah.
like he's ready to take you on.
Mountain Man. Yeah. And I have a lot of images similar to this. Of, I didn't to get him out and do a lot of other stuff with the weather and that kind of thing. So I
The,
struggled to make
the
it.
light is gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, I was so proud of myself. I used photo filter paper that I got from B&H. I've had for years, and draped it in on a C stand, so it was full
Uh-huh.
length photo paper. And then I got a shop light from Home Depot.
Oh, that's great. I love it. That's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I have lights, but I didn't want to drag them all out,
Yeah.
and I was pleased with the way it came out.
Yeah, light is gorgeous.
Yeah. So
Okay,
then, I was telling Brooke and Catherine that I wanted to shoot this guy, and of course I couldn't say to his partner, "But I don't want to shoot you."
right, of
So
course.
I had to, do that shoot, and Catherine and Brooke both said, "Well, just go ahead and do it, even though you're not that interested in him as a subject, go ahead and do
Okay.
it." So he came down the next day, and I'm sure he was pretty intimidated by the fact that his partner did such a good job. And so this isn't anything but photos of him, but to go back to the story, look at the one that's just kind of cornered to that one where the guy's laughing.
Here.
Yeah, this is this guy all the time. He's jovial. This is his face,
Uh-huh.
why I really didn't think I'd get much out of him. And so I just said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot. And then I said, Jimmy, I said, you really have to be serious. And so look at what I got. I was so impressed with his coming to task here with the rest of the photographs.
Oh,
And let's see what he did.
I like the numbers in the background.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, the one in the upper right hand corner, I really liked. He totally got serious for me.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful composition. The light is really beautiful.
Yeah,
The colors are gorgeous.
yeah. All that just came right out of the garage. I was really happy.
Your garage is special.
Yeah.
This is like Dick Tracy. He's serious.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like Columbo or something,
Yeah.
He does. He does. And these are really excellent portraits.
Really,
And
they're wonderful, Suzanne.
well, thank you. And like I said, I've barely even touched these. I crop, and then this. So this was a real step.
Wow.
Just look at that. I love it just because of the change in that he went through, the metamorphosis.
Yeah.
He looks a bit uncertain.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he does. He does. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was what that was. Just got him through it, and I was very, very pleased with how he responded to the shoot, and there you go.
Right. Well, I hope you continue with this stuff. This and the diptychs up here. I think that's
But I need
really
people for those diptychs, yeah, and so my intention is to shoot some more people that I can use in diptychs.
yeah, I think it's really important to keep moving with that.
So, do you prefer the black and white over the color, or was there any feeling on that? Because
Um,
I know we're at the end, but I I think traditionally,
Mhm.
diptychs are normally done in black and white, but
Oh, don't even think about that. That's like a dead end right there.
I think the color is probably more difficult to do,
in some ways, yeah, it is.
but it can add strength. The black and white focuses more on shape and form
And light.
and light,
Right,
right?
right. But you can have fun with color because you can
Ah,
complement colors in two separate photographs.
I think it's a case by case.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean the colors are so important in this one
Yeah.
and your portraits and this one down here. Um, but the shapes are important here. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say this or that. I would say what is strongest for this photograph. You know, color is just another layer that can add a connection to it or it can really distract. So, so nice to see you all again. Who's going to watch the Super Bowl?
I am. I've got friends coming over.
Me too. Well, I don't have friends coming over, but I'm going to watch it. Even
Are
though
you
the Ravens aren't in it, the Ravens, how many years in a row can we do that?
gonna, after 50 years of being an Eagles fan, I'm very excited to see this.
Oh, good. Patricia's whole family, they're from Philly and they are rabid Eagles fans. Oh my God. They sing that song all the time.
Oh God.
At every wedding, even at funerals, they sing
Oh
that song.
no.
Oh,
Uh,
so well, go Eagles go. Have you heard about Chewy, which is this online company for dogs and cats? Did you hear what they're doing?
no.
What?
They're offering um thousand a lot of like $100,000 worth of um pet supplies to needy pets if the Eagles win.
Oh no.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful? I love this company. I wrote them a note. And this company also um they sent Betty a birthday present.
Oh.
And I opened up the box and there are a couple of toys and a couple of chew things. And
Oh.
then they sent both dogs a Christmas present. Can you imagine?
You must spend a lot because I've been buying from them for years and I've never gotten that.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should call and ask.
Yeah. Where's
Tell
We
my
them.
spend
birthday
more money
present for
there.
Luke and Hannah?
So, but I write them a thank you note every time they do something there.
Ah, that's why.
But I
Yeah.
Ah,
always get a note back, a personal note back.
Wow.
Oh my
I,
God.
isn't
gosh,
that amazing? I love this. I mean, this is like the ideal company, the way
someone
to
has
run a company. Yeah.
I'm a big fan now that I know they're Eagles supporters. So
Well, I saw that Lloyd's Carryout changed its lights to green.
Oh,
And
good,
Louis,
good, good,
good.
good. So we shut up. So we shut up. So we. Could
Yeah.
somebody say that for me?
We need a date.
Shall we set up our next meeting?
There we go.
well, how
yes.
about the March 16th or the 9th? But I'm out of pocket from like the 20th to April 16th or 15th. So,
You're out of.
well, I'm out of pocket. March 20th, I go to Lewis for 17 days, and then I still have to drive back because I've got Bonnie's memorial service the first weekend in April. So I've got to get that all organized and see people. So I'm sort of out of pocket from the 20th to really April 10th or so.
Okay.
How about the 16th? Is that
16th is great.
okay? Let's do the 16th.
Okay.
And you're still in
Yep, she's still in Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
having a good time.
I don't know, I'm as lazy here as I am at home. Sometimes I think the only big difference is instead of looking out at the freezing snow and knowing I'm not going out, that I sit here and I look at the beautiful weather,
Uh-huh.
know that I could go out. But
I think that there's a big difference in attitude there, isn't there?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be much happier knowing I could go out if I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm not doing anything amazing, and then I realize I'm running errands and I'm looking at palm trees and I can drive by the ocean. And so going to the grocery store is
Um,
great.
You get that wonderful smell of eucalyptus and that sea
Oh,
smell. That's what I miss.
yeah. All the trees are turning white. They're
Mm.
blossoming. Really, they
Oh,
don't last very long.
Yeah, ours are all turning white too. 14 inches of snow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not missing that.
It's snowing again.
we're supposed to get East Coast is supposed to get a good snow this Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursday, we're getting it Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Got to decide whether I need to clean the snow off the roof.
Oh
Um,
no, be
The
careful.
other hand, it's
Oh,
weird living somewhere that they say you're going to get a lot of rain, and so you have to watch out for flooding and mudslides.
Yeah, the
And
mudslides were bad
like,
there.
you know, people are I need a go bag so I can evacuate quickly. It's weird. And the fires in LA, I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of
oh,
um,
the whole
it's
world.
strange knowing that too much rain, some mountain's going to slide down and move. I don't know. It's a whole different. Madison's very calm environmentally, and I
Yeah.
don't know. Don't
A
have
little
all.
boring.
Yeah,
Well, calm is boring.
yeah. I like calm.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, boring is good. I
yeah,
didn't like boring before, but now boring is
yeah.
just.
Okay with me too.
Just getting older, wonderful.
Especially with the world in this shape, you
I
know.
know.
I keep thinking I'm not going to have to deal with it for that much longer.
Said that, didn't we? Catherine, we said that just the other day. We're glad we're the age we are. Oh dear.
Okay, ladies, be good, stay safe. Don't
Oh,
go crazy. Don't read the news too much. I only
Yeah,
first paragraph and then that's it.
yeah.
I can't even read Heather Cox Richardson anymore.
Ah,
Taking me down too far. So
yeah.
safe.
All right.
We'll be
Stay
wise.
safe.
Bye bye.
bye-bye, my friends.
Bye bye. Enjoy the bowl game.